Hey there, fellow Factorians. Onerous here with another episode of Let's Learn Bobs and Angels together, and I'm going to try and blast through this episode because there are two things that we are ready to do. The first is sodium hydroxide. I've set up the train stations here, and then the other is aluminium plate. I've also set up the train stations over here, and it is just waiting for sodium hydroxide. So we want to try and do both. And I don't know how achievable that's going to be. Do we have... yep, cool. Alright, so first things first, we want to set up electrolyzers here, and we're going to be... look, they're just going to watch over us, these lovely worms. Now, sodium hydroxide, we are doing saline water at hydro plant. Yep, that is right. 150 water in 0.66 seconds. So 3 of these is 2. We'll have to do some ratios. All right, let's just plonk some stuff down because not that. Let's plonk down some of these. All right, so this is going to be making water purification. Yes. Yep, that is what we want. So this is using a craft speed of 1.5. So it is doing another 225 water a second. Wow. Alright. And it's producing a whopping 30 saline water a second. Oh, this feels really bad. Really, really bad. But it's all we can do at this point. The electrolyzer is going to be turning saline water into that, and it needs 100 saline water in 2 seconds. This has a corruption speed of 1.5, so it needs 150 saline water in 2 seconds, which is 75 saline water a second. And it produces 1 sodium hydroxide a second. This is terrible. We're not doing this. I am scrapping this right now. We're going to go back. I think we need to go back to washing plants. Let's quickly run over here. This might mean we're not going to have time to get the aluminium plate, but I'm okay with that because I feel like those ratios 30 saline water, salt water a second from the hydration plants. Is that what they're called? Hydro plants. Yeah, hydro plants. That just seems terrible. So, we had made some washing plants here. Yeah. Let's do something like this, and let's have a quick calculation on what we can get for that instead. Alright, so salt water, sodium hydroxide from salt water. So this produces 200 salt water in 5 seconds, but we have a washing plant Mark II, which is a corruption speed of 2.25. So it would be 450 salt water in 5 seconds, so 90 salt water a second, which, yeah, that is significantly better, isn't it? But it does mean that we need the train of stuff that maybe we don't even have. Do we have a seafloor pump? Yeah, we do. Okay. Just make a few of those just in case. And look, we're just gonna jump up here. Now, where would a seafloor pump? There it is. Okay. Starting there, this is producing our mud. And this is why I didn't want to do this in the first place, because it creates mud. But that is okay. Alright. So this is turning viscous mud water into heavy mud water. It sure is. Then we have a little bit of a gap, because gaps are good. And then you turn heavy mud water into concentrated mud water. And then you turn concentrated mud water into light mud water. And then you turn light mud water into thin mud water. And then somewhere along the lines, I'm sure we get saline water. Thin mud water into saline water. Great. Okay. all of these produce mud, and we need to output that. Something like that. Looks like we're pulling from that kind of tower. And then this mud is what we just did previously, is we turn that mud back into viscous mud water. Water treatment, mud and water into viscous mud water. Alrighty, we are going to go super old school, and maybe we are. Offshore pump, can we make one? Geez, I don't even know where they are these days. Offshore pump, oh, we can make one. That is lovely. So that's 1200 water a second. Bit of a difference. We're gonna go there. Our offshore pump can go here. Now we're gonna need a little bit of action over this way, because this uses a fair bit of water along the way. There we go, there we go, there we go, and there we go. Alright, so these guys now all have the water they need, and the mud is disappearing into here, which then will go back into here. And if we remember correctly, what we were doing was putting in a valve, not an overflow valve, a top-up valve. Top-up valve, there we go. Oh man, I'm so glad that we can actually craft these things without having to go back to the base. And there we go. So that should allow us to do everything we need to do. Of course, I've got to connect up this water. Let's just use pipes because we have squeak through going. And then over to here. And let's see, the system is working. System is working, the system is working. The system is working. Alright, saline water. Now, what do we calculate this at? 200. Let's get the calculator out, because we might as well. We've got the 2.25 multiplier in there. So this is creating 200 by 2.25, 450 every 5 seconds. That's right. So that is 90 a second. Now we can bring out the electrolyzers. And one of these is using 1.5, it's using 150 in 2 seconds, 75 a second. Alright. So this output can support just over one of these. But maybe we'll just have one going. Let's see what this looks like. And get there. Alright. Our gases we do want to burn off, because we just don't have any use for them. And we'll connect them up just in case we want to end up putting up a few more of these. Burn, burn, burn. And the output is what we're after, sodium hydroxide. Let us output that directly. No, that's ridiculous. Can I? No, I can't load out of this. Or can I? Looks like I can. Yeah, cool. Go loaders. All right, we definitely we don't have enough. That is our output, which is very, very slow. So that being said, this is not using much in the way of the viscous mud water. It is only using, again, 90 a second. We're producing 1200 a second. No, 300 a second. So this can support three of these right here. How are we going for this? Yeah, that is definitely pretty quick at doing what it does. So what I'm thinking is we copy this whole thing. But we need to do it slightly differently, don't we? Copy this whole thing like that. We're going to take the viscous mud water in like that. Yep, wonderful. Alright, this water, I do need it on this side. It's a little bit annoying, but it will do. That'll do fine. Alright. And then we can get out that mud there. Just like that. And then pop these down like so. And all we're missing is the connection to water, which will have to be here. There we go. And one of them. Now let's make sure this can keep up. Looks like it's doing a fine job. It's actually not even maxed out, so that is pretty good. Alright, so we've now doubled our output. So we're doing 180 a second, which will be something like this. That's just... couldn't have moved it across. There we go. There. So that one, and then we have that going in there. Over here, let's power it up there. We're burning off this stuff at sufficient rates. And something like that will enable us to get a little bit of, just a wee bit of sodium hydroxide going. Alright, let's feed that in there. And yeah, it's not much, is it? It is not much at all. And how much do we need for this? 3 sodium hydroxide every 6 seconds. So if this is all going to aluminium ore, 3 in 6 seconds, we'll probably have a 1.5 multiplier in there, so we need 4.5 a second. Each one of these is producing 1.5 a second, 1.5 every 2 seconds, so 0.75 a second. Wow, we would need 6 of these setups. 6 of these setups to actually produce enough to keep the aluminium plate flowing. So I did say this supports 3, but realistically it's probably just easier for us to do that. It'd be lovely just to fit that around the worm, wouldn't it? Let's do that. That little worm can stay there. We do need another offshore pump, and I'm sure they used to be in there. Anyway, maybe they went into the water treatment. Maybe we should just search for it. It's in the production section. Alright. So we get that guy there, we get that guy there, and we need to power that up. See if we've got enough washing plants. I don't know if we... oh yeah, we got heaps. Cool. We've got enough pipes. Wonderful. And so that is enough. So now we are producing 360 a second, which is almost enough for 5 of these. It's actually not quite enough. I really hate now using the loaders here. I feel like that just does not work with our our new arrangement. So what I want to do is actually start doing that. Yeah, we'll start doing that, and like that and that. Fortunately, you're just not powered up. And then we're going to have, we'll have an output here. Alright, that's what we're doing. There we go. That seems slightly better. Because we're not outputting many of these, which is the unfortunate truth. There we go. There we go, and there we go. And those, of course, aren't powered. Why? Because we didn't stick with the plan. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 is 3 a second. Seems like a little bit higher than 3 a second. Maybe there was just some backlog. Yeah, a little bit of backlog that was getting through. Alright. So, if we want to do that again, we would have 4.5 a second. And that is how much we need. That is how much we need to do one of these. One of these. Ah, yes, sodium hydroxide, hey? Well, and we're, I feel like we're just wasting so much chlorine gas that we might want to use further down the track for ferric chloride solution. But so be it. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. We are producing a lot of it. Well, you know what? Let's just copy that again, shall we? Something like that. Can't build on dry ground, of course. Yes. Yes, we know. Offshore pump. Got just enough. This stuff can now change significantly. Let's pop that there, and then the offshore pump. Actually, can you fit there? You can, yeah, and then you can fit there. Cool. Alright. So this comes in to there. Looks like we are. Oh, we need some top-up valves. Top-up valves. We actually need another one over here, don't we? To get that operational. And we put it in over there. Why not? Why not? Well, because that one's not actually powered up or built just yet. So it's not the most efficient placement. There we go. So let's see if we can build the rest of this. Looks like we can. Yes, we can. Great. We'll copy that one again. There and there. Alrighty. Now we're going for gas burning. Looks like we're burning it all off. And we've got a somewhat amount of sodium hydroxide coming in. Alright. This is going to be a problem. That is nowhere near enough for our aluminium. Nowhere near enough for our aluminium. So, is there any other way to make aluminium hydroxide? No, there is not. It all needs sodium hydroxide. So, is there another way to make alumina? Alumina, there we go. There is, but it requires sodium carbonate. Oh no, it needs sodium hydroxide. That one doesn't help us because it also needs aluminium ingot, which is what we're trying to make. So we are stuck. We are stuck with. Looks like we are stuck with the production of this as a bit of a bottleneck. I think we can expand this though now because this was 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 540. and this was using 75 a second. So 540 divided by 75 is 7.2. So we can actually add one more of these in. And let's put it over here because we can be sneaky like that. So now there should be just enough. Does that need to be there? Oh yes it does. There we go. Okay, we can go there now. Alright, so that is 7 producing 0.75. So 7 by 0.75 is 5, just over 5 a second. Yeah, it's rubbish, isn't it? Total rubbish. Well, it is what it is. Let's leave it at that, and let us get a train here to take what little we have, and all right, from there, full cargo, and then come on down to our aluminium plate, sodium hydroxide, empty cargo. There we go. All right, and why is that not working properly? Because we've got no bots here, I would imagine. There we go. Yep. Okay, so that now will work. Requesting 50, and it should drop off 50. Beautiful. And that's pretty much as good as it's going to get for a while. So we still have 10 minutes. We can certainly start our aluminium plate in 10 minutes. Considering everything is ready to go, why not? Alright, so we don't need these, we don't need these, and we don't need to be carrying those. This stuff just keeps building up. Lots of other stuff. Okay, cool. What we do need is pretty much all of that. All of those. No, that was misclick. Yeah, alright. So, all processing, blast furnaces. Don't need a Mark 1. That is definitely. Oh, hang on, we should probably ditch that. Induction furnaces, yeah. Alright, let's see how we go with this. So. We have carbon, we have aluminium ore, and we don't need this anymore. Looks like I was getting a little bit ahead of myself here. Yeah, you can have a couple more of them. So, first things first, let's bring what little sodium hydroxide we have into play, just so we can get a feel for whether this is going to work. Alright. Let us start from the beginning. So, aluminium ore into processed aluminium, 4 into 2. That's pretty good. So, to use up, that is in 2 seconds. We have Mark 2s, which is 1.5. So, it uses 6 every 2 seconds, 3 a second. We can have 10 of these. That sounds very familiar, doesn't it? Very, very familiar. Alright. How are we going to do this? These are going to come down and across. We've got heaps of room down here. So I'm going to go this way for the first ones. Alright, so we're going to have a full belt of these coming in. They need 6 a second, so we'll have some stackies coming to feed that. And then they are going to, nice lot of stacks coming out as well. Alright, so you are making processed aluminium. And can we direct insert this? Because I would love to direct insert. So this is using 4 in 6 seconds. This was producing 2 in 2 seconds. That is just not a perfect ratio, is it? 4 in 2 seconds, but we only have the powder mixer Mark 1, I believe, available to us. I thought I had some. I thought I was prepared. I was not. Do we bring any powder mixers? No, we didn't. Let's go back to base. Running out of precious time. We do have a little bit of sodium hydroxide coming in, which is handy. So we only have access to the first level of powder mixer, which has a crafting speed of 1. So let's go. This has to be done. This uses 4 in 6 seconds. 4 in 6 seconds. Totally lost on the math on that one. Just need to think over here. Now, where did I put that? Where did I put it? Here it is. Alright, let's just grab 20 of them, because why not? What are you bringing me? Some pipe? Yeah, sure. Alright. I don't think we're going to make it, guys. I don't think we're going to make it. We might have to run over a little bit of time. What we'll do is we'll get one of these operational, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so back in here. That is happening. So, one of these is using 4 and 6 seconds, so it's using 0.6 a second. And how many of these were we producing? In here we were producing 1.5 a second. That is not a good ratio for us. Not a good ratio at all. So we're producing 0.75 here. 0.75 a second? No, 1.5 a second. And we're using 0.66. We could do a ratio of 2 to 1. They don't really give us much space for that though, do they? 2 to 1. It's not an ideal ratio though. Alright, I think we're gonna belt for compaction here. So this is turning a full belt of aluminium ore into half a belt of processed aluminium. So we could have a second belt converting to a full belt of, or we just output half a belt. All right, we're outputting half a belt. Yep, and we'll go from there. We'll do the math based on half a belt output. Because I'm overthinking this. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm overthinking this for one particular reason, and that reason is we do not have anywhere near the required sodium hydroxide to actually make this even remotely feasible. So yeah, there's that. Should have used a big pole for that. What's done is done. Now let's bring this down here, and away we go. Alright. So this half a belt, which is 15 a second. 15 a second of this. This is using 0.66 a second. So 15 divided by 0.66 gives us 22. Yeah, okay. 15 divided by 0.66 occurring is 22.5. There we go. That is a lot of these that it can support, but we cannot. What we can do, because this is half a belt, of course, is we can bring this in. Somewhere like this. We can bring this into that side. There we go, alright. And now we are cooking. Because it needs 4 of those and 3 of those, yep. Story checks out, alright. So we can support 22 of these. We'll start small, shall we? I assume they need to be powered. Don't actually know. And we'll be able to do a 3 stack here. Yeah, we can. All right. Now, you guys are doing that one. The 3 stack kind of is very annoying. It needs. We'll just use stack inserters. And then it is outputting a very slow amount of that. very slow amount. So it turns a full belt of processed aluminium into, or half a belt into 1.5 belts of aluminium hydroxide. Alright, 1.5 belts. What if we did that, and then actually had that one? No, I'm not going to do that. That's very, very silly. Alright, let's copy that, and then do that, and that. And why are these not working? Oh, they are. There we go. Alright. So what did I say? 22 of these? That is 12. And that is 24. So that is kind of the most we could do, but we don't have the sodium hydroxide for it. Let me just stress that. There is not enough sodium hydroxide to support this whole thing. And it also does 1.5 belts. 1.5 belts of this stuff. Now, what are we doing with that stuff? Well, that stuff is turning into alumina in a blast furnace. Wonderful. All right. Let's see. Blast furnace, blast furnace. I wonder if we could direct insert this. That is a good question. All right. So this is using 24 in 4 seconds. 24 in 4 seconds. But it's got a crafting speed of 1.5. So it's 6 a second multiplied by 1.5 is 9 a second. These guys were producing 2 a second. No, that doesn't work out at all, does it? Looks like we are going to stick with. Looks like we are going to stick with this crazy arrangement. All right, blast furnace, blast furnace. Here, let's go down 1, 2, yeah, something like that, because we are going to need to bring in some carbon. Ho ho, hey hey. Bring the carbon in somewhere about there. That is annoying me that they don't line up perfectly. Alright, so this carbon initially will branch off, so we do need it again further on. Alright, there we go. That will work. So, this is making alumina. It needs 6 a second aluminium hydroxide. So let's do 2 of them reaching in the back. And then it just needs 1 of these doing that. And it outputs 24, so it outputs 6 a second as well. There we go, alright. And this is using, what did I say, 6, it's using 9 aluminium hydroxide a second. 6 a second, 9. So to do 30, we can support 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. But the next step is alumina with carbon. 20. It's direct insert into a blast furnace, like so. Oh, we're out of blast furnace. That can't be right. Because I used a Mark 1. What kind of crazy person uses a Mark 1 blast furnace? When we have Mark 2s in action. Alright, there we go. Now, so you are then making that. And this is where we need the carbon. This guy is going to go down. Let's do that. Grab all these alumina that are sitting there, and that means that we can get a belt in here for the carbon. And then we just need to do a little tricky one of these. Grab that there. And that is ample. Alright. So that will go there, there and there. And now we have aluminium ingots. Oh, so close, so close. And aluminium ingots, so 12 in 4 seconds. This is producing 24 in 4 seconds. So each of these can support 2 induction furnaces, which is really not how this is set up, is it? Because yes, let's double check that. This is producing 24 in 4 seconds, and this is using 12 in 4 seconds. Huh. We may need to space this out a bit, mightn't we? Yep, let's do that. Alright. So that would be the spacing we would need to maintain. Man, pulling that out though just seems like a nightmare. Because there's going to be so much material sitting there. I guess we're doing it. It's alright. We've got inventory space, don't we? Surely. Let's pull out that. Let's pull out that. Why have I got 2 poles in all of these? I don't know. That one there needs to go there. Alrighty. Grab those. Pull out these ones. And now we can do something like that. And that is turning aluminium ingots into molten aluminium. Alright, well, that means that we can do that, and something like that. We don't actually need that one. We don't need those ones. There we go. Alright. Whoo-wee. Man, that is a little bit crazy. A little bit crazy. Alright. Let's pop some powering up along here. Because each of these is now producing 120 aluminium in 4 seconds. And our casting machine 2 casting machines, here we go. These guys use they use 10 a second, and these ones are producing what did I say, 30 a second. Is that right? 12, yeah, 30 a second. Forgetting the 1.5, because they've both got the 1.5. So each of these can support 3 of these. That's actually pretty nice. 1, 2, 3. And if I do this correctly, 1, 2. Nope, that is not correct. There. Although I think these ones will need to go down 1 just to keep with our usual arrangement of power poles. And then we do that. And it'd be nice to do that. That's going to be really weird. Really weird. Too weird for my liking, to be honest. So what we're going to do is we will bring that like that. Except we can't get out of that one. Ah, man, that is there's no way around that, is there? Well, the other option is we move this one across. And yeah, that's going to work. All right. And then we are outputting how many? Aluminium plate, outputting 1 a second, 1.5 a second, 1.5 a second, and you guys are picking up from there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's 9 a second. We can do this a few times. That's 18, 27 a second. That's a full That's a almost full red belt, and then that's a little bit more. So let's call it 1.5. We'll call it 1.5. And in fact, what we'll do is we'll do that. And we'll call that 2. And if we get 2 things of aluminium plate going full time, we will be very happy. Looks like we ran out of casting machines. It's okay. We are very soon going to run out of aluminium hydroxide. But here we have it. Yeah, that is it. Our aluminium plate. A little bit of a longer episode. Sorry about that, but I did want to get this done this episode, mainly due to the sodium hydroxide early on not being very cooperative. But that is okay. We don't mind, do we? It's all for the learning. Next episode, we're going to have to do something about sodium hydroxide. Aluminium plate is used for a lot of things, and I certainly do not want the aluminium plate to be a sticking point for us, which means that we probably need to work out some better arrangements for sodium hydroxide. And I think the biggest thing is going to be with aluminium plates and concrete bricks, we can make a salination plant. A salination plant that actually produces salt water from regular water at a much higher rate. Oops, there we go. Let's just have a look. Saline water. Yeah, it's this one here, producing 400 in 2.5 seconds, with a crafting speed of 2. Yeah, that's right. Which is a lot. I don't know. It's more than 100 a second, isn't it? And that's pretty good. I think this is a bit of a dream, isn't it? Let us not worry about filling up those, and let's focus on just getting 2 of these. Beautiful. All right, let's get this train being filled up, and we are going to call the episode there. All right, if you've stuck with me to the end, thank you, and I hope you appreciated the effort we have gone to here to get this done. This is that's fine. Yeah, it's fine. We are getting it. We're not limiting the throughput of these. That's for sure. And as you can see, look, our sodium hydroxide already depleted. How much have we made over here? 3k. Well, that is better than nothing. What we'll do once we could just fill one of these, honestly. But we are going to send this to back to the main base, and we're going to start using some aluminium plate to make things, make some exciting things, and such as salination plants. All right, as always, love to hear your comments down below. Pretty happy that we finished off this chain to get to aluminium plate. We had the aluminium ore, we had the jivolite processing, we had the conversion to the chunks. It was pretty exciting, and yes, the whole sodium hydroxide saga will continue. We'll get there though. We'll get there. We'll sort it out. And next episode, what are we going to do? Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, won't we? So I will see you back here tomorrow for something new, and you'll find out then. Thanks for watching.